Hi, Don Catalano here from iOptimize Realty. Some people have named me the jet tenant rep because they know I love to fly our corporate jet. I'll take it. But right now I want to talk to you about our predictions for 2023. There's some good and there's some not so good. So let's get into it. All right, so I did a little update on, or our reflections on 2022. That was a year that most of us want to say goodbye to. 2023, will it be better? Well, there's a lot of levers at play here. We have Jerome Powell, who's struggling to control inflation. It's starting to come down as I'm making this video. It was 6.5. I don't want to date the video too much, but we're doing this in January of 2023. Maybe he will be successful. Fingers crossed. At the same time, the federal government still has their foot firmly on the gas pedal. We've just got done, Congress just got done, and the Biden administration just got done approving another $1.7 trillion in debt. That's on top of $31 trillion. Now, I'm not being political. Please don't get mad at me for telling you the truth. We're talking math. I just want to break down one other simple thing that most people don't realize. If the federal government, if Jerome Powell has a terminal rate, meaning that's where they're going to stop raising the interest of about 5%. Let's just do some quick math on 5%. Back of the napkin, top of my head. $31 trillion times 5%. Well, let's just say that's a little bit more than $1.5 trillion of interest that we don't have. So we're going to pile that on top of the debt. So that $31 trillion, if they didn't even just add another $1.7 trillion to it, this is just math, folks. Do not shoot the messenger. You got to know this. You're a taxpayer. You're working hard. If you're watching this video, you're working hard. You got to know the facts. And the facts are 31 trillion plus 1.7 trillion more. Call it 2 for round numbers. Okay, so we're up to 33. Do 5%. That's 1.65 if I'm doing it off the top of my head. $1 trillion more just in interest, and that's going to go up each year because it's going to compound. Where are they going to get the money? They have to get it from us. So that's bringing us into 2023. Will it be any better than 2022? Holy, you know what I'm about to say, but I can't say because we're on YouTube and we like to make it a family channel. I was about to say holy S, holy sugar. I hope it's better, but I am not so sure. Here's some factors that we're looking at. Unemployment, well, that's still reasonably low. Well, there's some reasons for that. The federal government is still keeping a lot of people home with some really juicy keep-at-home incentives. So while the unemployment is technically low, we're starting to see a lot of layoffs. Now, most of these layoffs right now are white-collar layoffs. But let's be frank, white-collar jobs pay a lot of money. And white-collar jobs that pay a lot of money pay a lot of taxes. So it started with Tesla. Well, actually, it started before Tesla. And Elon Musk got a lot of heat for reducing his workforce at Twitter. But in reality, everybody, every company, the big companies, most of all, are doing it. So are we going into a recession? Well, the reality is we've technically met the definitions of recession. We're absolutely in a recession. Is it going to get worse? That's the big question. And I'm seeing sharp minds like Jamie Dimon one moment saying, oh, it's going to be bad. And then he comes out and says, well, maybe it won't be so bad. None of us have a perfectly clear crystal ball. But I'm of the school 2 + 2 = 4, not 5. So yeah, I think we're going to have a pretty significant recession, and unemployment, it's going to go up because company earnings, they're trending down, and they're trending down in a significant way. So what does that mean for real estate? Well, let's first talk about office space. I just got done with a wrap up of 2022, and if you haven't seen it, you really want to see it, because we're giving you the honest information, not this sugar-coated stuff that I don't like to see. I like to give it to you straight. 2022, it sucked, right? 2023, will it be better? Well, for office landlords, no. It's going to be a disaster. We're seeing office occupancy rates, not vacancy rates, though vacancy rates will follow the occupancy rates, at about 50% in some of the biggest cities in America. Cities that historically, they were the king. Cities like New York City, cities like San Francisco for high tech, cities like Chicago. Why has that happened? Well, we all know off the top of our head some of the reasons, but let's explore them. Maybe some aren't so obvious. Number one, we've had a tectonic plate shift on how America works, and frankly, how the globe works, how the world works. But let's just focus on America for this moment. Work from home started with COVID, but the infrastructure for that was already there. The infrastructure for that was broadband. You could get broadband in your house, 1 gigabit. I mean, I'm paying about $90 a month. It's silly. It's really totally inexpensive. Do I need 1 gig? No, but we all have it. So with that much broadband capacity, do you need the 2-hour commute to the big city? If you're in Atlanta, great city, I love Atlanta, I love going there, love flying into PDK in Atlanta. I love the downtown and so many neighborhoods, so many great restaurants there. But one thing I loathe about Atlanta, that everybody who knows Atlanta absolutely hates, is the traffic on 75 or 85. OMG. You do not want to get on those roads after 3:30 or get on the road at 8, because then you're facing a 1.5 hour to 2 hour commute to your workplace. Now, if you have that choice of working from home for some other company, or your company is demanding that you come back to the office space, you may be willing to take a pay cut. And that's what a lot of companies have experienced, and what a lot of employees have said. They've done some self-reflection over the last 2 years. Is it worth my life 2 hours in, or hour and a half in, 2 hours back, which is 4 hours? Add that to an 8-hour workday, so it's 50% more time. Is it worth it to me to make that commute? And a lot of times the answer has been a resounding no. So this is something that companies have to come to grips with. Some have and some still haven't. Some are doing a hub and spoke, where they have maybe a central office in the CBD and they put offices out in the burbs. We call that hub and spoke, right? Out in the suburbs. Sometimes now with that broadband, sometimes those burbs can be in a completely different state, because they have found that on top of the commute issue, their great workforce has done some introspective examination, said, you know what? I want a warmer climate. Maybe if you were in New York City, you got tired of the occasional 2 feet of snow. It's not always, but the weather is cold here. I know, because I live in New York. Not New York City, but I live in New York. And I know what it's like come January and February. And I say, OMG, when the kids are out of school, we're heading to Florida, because I hate the cold. Now, if you have the choice, the career choice, ask yourself, would you rather live in Florida or North Carolina? Oh, and let's talk about taxes. Personal income taxes. They do not exist in Florida, Tennessee, which is experienced exponential growth, and so has Florida, everybody knows, and Texas. Now, do those places get hot? Yes, they do. They get hot for about 2 months out of the year. But there's a thing called air conditioning that helps people get over that and has over the last few decades. And that's why they have had explosive growth. The South has really been on fire for the last few decades. That's why places like Virginia, Tyson's Corner, Virginia, OMG, terrific place, right? Terrific shopping, very high end. And take that all the way down the East Coast and take it out to Texas and stop along the way in Charlotte or maybe Greensboro. That's a cute little city I love going to. Or now Chattanooga. Most people didn't think about Chattanooga. Now they are, because it's rapidly expanding. So go back to that CBD office in Manhattan. Those employers have to think about, did some of their best talent move out of town? Or maybe they moved to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Also, what are employees thinking about? Well, if I come into the workplace and I'm riding on the subway, do I have to worry about crime? Yeah, in the big cities, you do, let's be honest. And so people are thinking, you know what? I want to go to a place where I feel safe. So that is a tectonic plate shift. What's going to be the impact on office space in the CBDs? Some people are not coming back to the office, ever. Some are coming back a few times a week. Almost no one is saying, hey, I'm raising my hand for the 2-hour commute into New York or Chicago or Atlanta. They're not. They don't have to do that anymore. So these are the things that are going to be a significant impact into 2023 and beyond. And what we have to do as a country is adapt. You know, we had the Industrial Revolution, we had the Information Revolution, right? Who's using a fax machine, right? Nobody, right? We had the cell phone revolution, thank you, Steve Jobs, right? Now we're on our iPads, our cell phones, right? Things change. And let's talk about another big thing that's going to change. Artificial intelligence. OMG, chatbot came out in November of 2022. It's all the rage. And no, I'm sorry, it's not chatbot. ChatGPT. Why did I call it chatbot? While it's the rage, it is only the precursor of what is going to happen. Look at Tesla, what they have with arguably full self-driving. I know it's not quite there yet, but it is pretty impressive. It's not just Tesla. There's so many companies where artificial intelligence is going to rock their world. They're either going to adapt to it or get run over by it, or run over by their competitors who have adapted to it. So how's that going to change the workplace? Well, in the Industrial Revolution, things changed for the blue-collar worker. Now with AI, things are going to rapidly change for the white-collar worker. Already, AI can write code. Not the best code, but it's just the beginning. So again, another tectonic plate shift. So is there any good news for 2023? Potentially. Fingers crossed. Jerome Powell is putting his foot on the brake, gets control of inflation. Fingers crossed that works out. Though there are some bright people that say it may not work. There are some really bright people that say, hey, the desire for U.S. Treasury bills may go down. That will truly exasperate financial difficulties for the government. And when that happens, who's going to be the buyer? Jerome Powell again. And so we're going to go from quantitative easing to foot on the gas pedal again to pull us out of that. So 2023, I think economically is going to be like this. I think the stock market is going to be like this, and it may even go like that. Now, what does that do for corporate real estate? Well, obviously, if it goes like that, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. There's going to be a lot of vacant space. How do we handle that? At iOptimize Realty, we say there's the 3 R's. Number 1, right size. Right size your space. If you were 100,000 feet, you now only need 40,000 feet. Well, there's your first huge cut. Number 2, renegotiate. This is the best time in all of my career, and I've been doing this since I had black hair, so it's been a while. In all of my years, this is the best time I've ever seen for corporate tenants to renegotiate their leases. And if the renegotiation does not work out, well, number 3 is relocate. And now a lot of companies have re-examined, do we want to be in the CBD? Maybe not so. Do we even want to be in this state or this city anymore? Maybe not so. So iOptimize Realty, we travel the country. We can also handle global real estate. If you need some help or just some information, you feel free to give us a call. I don't want to make this too solicitous. It's more about the prediction for 2023, but I think a lot of people, a lot of companies are going to do some introspective examination. Do we need to be in this city anymore? Do we need this much space? What does our new workforce look like? Is it going to be hybrid? Is it going to be a lot of people working from home? There's been some companies that have closed down multi-100,000-foot facilities. I remember in REI built this beautiful facility and they didn't even move in. They've gone to a complete work from home model. Now, will that last? I don't know. I think there'll be some changes, but I don't think it's ever going to go back. This is my prediction, mark my words, January of 2023, it's never going to be going back to the way it was. So that's our big prediction for 2023. Stand by for more. We're going to be rolling out lots of information over the next few weeks. Thank you. This has been Don Catalano from iOptimize Realty. Take care.